What's going on, guys? We've got about $3,000 worth of podcast gear here. Everything you see on the table is brand new, including that MacBook. We're going to put it together right now. First thing we need to do is get off of this Samsung S23 and maybe get some good audio. So the first thing we are going to do is use that GX6 over there. That's hard to see, but we do have a GX6 that we're going to go ahead and plug up real quick, get the MacBook fired up and get the GX6 plugged in. And we'll actually start off with a lav mic, just to get a baseline on the lav, and then we'll go ahead and switch over to the podcast mics after that. But we're going to set up this whole setup here, and we're going to see what it ends up being like in the end. All right, now that we got the Mac unlocked, we can go ahead and hook up the GX6. We've got the GX6 hooked on a mini HDMI, going to an HDMI, and that is going to be plugged into Vivitar, which I believe is actually 1080 instead of 4K. But I'm not big balling like that. And because the Mac doesn't have USB-A, it only has the USB-C ports. We got a USB-A to USB-C converter right there. We'll go ahead and hook that up and get the camera rolling and get a lav mic baseline. Now that we got the HDMI plugged in, we can get the Lumix turned on. All right, so she's up and running there. And we do have OBS, so we'll go ahead and hop over to the OBS software. And we're going to switch over to the main camera. Main cam, we're going to make sure that gets turned on. Hey, what's up, y'all? There we go. Okay, OBS is now recording. You can see me in two different angles here. What's happening? All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab these lavs. Got a couple of lavs here, lav mics. Lav mic, simple lav setup, I think $20 on Amazon. I have hooked up the lavs before, so this part of it's already set up. If I can find, there it goes. All right, we're gonna make sure that little green LED is flashing. And we have the other end of the lav right here. Gonna make sure that turns green, and we'll go ahead and hook up. And we're gonna hit allow. Gonna hit allow for the Mac. Okay, to start accepting the audio. Now we're going to take a look at the audio here. We see Pod Track 4. I've already tested all this, so we're just rebuilding the system. But voice mod, we're going to turn that off, and let's go to our actual mic settings. So let's go ahead and add a mic here, and we're going to add. Audio input, and we're just going to call it lav, and we're going to look for that device. It's going to be USB audio 1, I believe, and just hit OK. All right, now we should see, if we scratch the mic, we should see it bounce up. And if you look at the audio there under the very top option, notice that the lav jumps. I'm scratching the mic. Notice that the lav meter moves. So we're in the right one. All right, let's get off of this audio from the phone and get over to some better audio. All right, we should have some better audio going now. Let's just go over a couple things that we got going on over here. We got the Lux CEO tube lights in. We got a couple of Fifine or Fifine microphones, podcast microphones. We got a Zoom Pod Track 4 P4. Got a bunch of USB-C cords, USB-C to USB-A cords. We've got a couple stands for the light bars. All the setup for the mic stands there. We do have the MacBook, which costs $1,800, and then the KYY cheap Amazon secondary monitor, so that we can get a we can do a screencast and not have to do the mirror effect on our screen here. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, also we have the can't forget about the Stream Deck. We got the Stream Deck. All right. So let's get everything going. As soon as I get to a situation where basically it looks okay for me to sit down and actually say something. What's up, y'all? What's up? As soon as it gets to a situation where I can actually sit down and talk to the camera, it's probably gonna be a lot of the cell phone video. I'll probably be switching back and forth when I can, but we're gonna try to get all this stuff hooked up for you and get this going right. All right. So the next thing we're gonna go ahead and do is let's go ahead and get the. Also we do have two Meet 2 cameras from OBS, the OBSbot Meet 2 cameras. So those are going to be cameras 2 and 3 on the whole setup. And of course, I've had these cheap lights here for a good minute here. So, and then we have the NP or NTPW. We have the NTPW hub, so we can hook all this gear up. All right, so just to get some stuff out of the way, let's clear out these tubes and get these put up. That way, it opens some space on my table here. All right, let's go ahead and get those going. All right, we got the Lux CEO tubes, and we have their bases here, their stands. So we're going to go ahead and open these up. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these tripods that we're going to use for the Meet 2. Grab one of these tripods and hook this this camera up on it, so I don't have to keep going handheld on the camera. So let me get that set up, and then we'll be right back at it. All right, we got the camera set up, so let's go ahead and continue on. I'm going to go ahead and grab these light bars. All right, look at that, another camera angle. This is probably the one you guys are used to. So we got some light bars here. We're going to go ahead and get those turned on. And we got the mounts. We're going to hook up some mounts for the light bar. Here we go. Simple there. And let's see what kind of colors we got going on. One of these light bars does not connect to the app. They both came with a remote, but the remotes are trash. So if you decide that you do want to get the Lux CEO lights, just make sure you get the ones with the app, not the ones with just the remote, because if you just get the remote, then you're going to lose most of the functionality of it. And then just pray that the app actually works, because one of mine doesn't. So, and then, if it doesn't work, then just go ahead and send it back. All right, these did come somewhat charged, but they have been charging all night, basically. So we'll go ahead and get them turned on. Let's see what we got here. What kind of color? Boom, purple. Let's roll with it. Okay, now the light bars are adjustable for brightness, and so you can dim them down. You can boost up the power. Now it really looks like a lightsaber. Look at that. That's lightsaber, bro. That's straight lightsaber right there. Anyone who has to spend all that money on VFX for lightsabers, why? Why? Look, lightsaber all day long. All right, so let's kick the power down just a little bit there. We're starting to get into, how about we put it in the frame a little bit? Bam. Still works. Still a lightsaber. All right, let's get it in the frame. Maybe actually let it stand up this time. Tighten it up. There we go. Don't fall down, my friend. All right, so there's one. Let's kick it down just a little bit. It's a little bit hot. All right, so we're gonna kick it down just, there we go. How about that? Bam. Okay, cool. Moving on, so we got our second Second light bar. It's a 2-pack. Paid, I believe, $129 for it, for the 2-pack. And overall, I'd say it's worth it because, I mean, they are good. They got good output on the light, and there's a lot of things you can do with these things. So for $129, it's not too bad. Let's see what color lightsaber we get on this one. Blue. Yep, that'll work. All right, so let's put this lightsaber slash tube light over here in the frame, in the frame, in the frame, frame. Damn, good enough. All right, this chair over here is for our actual podcast when we do podcasts. So let's kick that out of the way. Maybe. There we go. All right, cool. And we got the MacBook there. Hey, this is starting to look about like what it's supposed to. You see the camera angle's off. You can really tell it by the light bar. Let me go adjust the camera angle just a little bit. All right, it's not perfect, but it's better than it was. All right, what are we going to do next? Let's go with the Fifine podcast microphones. Got 2 of them. That way we can get off the lav system, and we'll see what these things are about. Before we plug in the mics, we need to get the stands set up. And what we got here are the clamps, C-clamps. You're going to want to make sure that guy is tightened down pretty good. All right, then let's go ahead and hook it onto the table. See if I can get another shot of it from the phone cam. The clamp does not want to clamp onto that round edge. Clamp doesn't want to clamp onto that round edge right there. So what I had to do was actually put a fence picket there and literally nailed it to the table there. And then we just cover back up with the table topping, the sheet. And we're going to go ahead and clamp this guy onto the table. All right, she's on there. She ain't going nowhere. Adjust that where we want it to go. Perfect. All righty. So we got the podcast mic arm up, and let's go ahead and do the other one. All right, again, same thing. Got a round table, so we put the fence picket up there. That's how you do it in the money-saving world. And we're going to move this cloth here so it still looks nice. Let's open that up just a little bit more. And then we're going to tighten that guy down. All right, now we can adjust that arm to where we want it to go. We'll just put it there for now. It's actually going to be set up on the other seat, on the other location. How y'all like my hat, by the way? This is some gangster stuff. This is electrical tape because the Velcro strap started coming off, so Velcro tape special. All right, so we got the podcast mic stand set up there. And then let's go ahead and get the mics themselves connected. And as far as the mics go, basically you're just going to twist them on there. They do have, the Fifine microphones do come with an adapter in case you have a different size microphone mount. But the standard mount is what this microphone stand uses. So that's what we're going to roll with. Now, I'm not going to lie, for whatever reason, these threads have the hardest time grabbing. But we got it. We got it. All right, so there she is. A little bit limp today, isn't she? All right, there she is. All right, so there's what that looks like in podcast mode. What's up? We are still on the lav mic audio right now. Hopefully it's not crackling. I'm not monitoring it right now. But let's go ahead and hook up the XLR cables. So one of the good things about this stand is that it does have the cable management pieces here, so you can tuck the XLR cables into the actual stand. So let's go ahead and plug in the XLR cables, and here in just a second we can get the podcast mics going, the Fine mics turned on. We'll see if that makes any kind of a difference. It's already looking better though. I mean, honestly, compared to what we had before in the other episodes, got a little bit of light going on in the back over here, and then we got the whole podcast mic appearance. So it almost looks like we know what we're doing. Let's go ahead and get this guy plugged in. There's part A. And I'm going to go ahead and move that cam so I can get another angle. All right, so we got the other cam set up. And we're just going to drape it on over. And this is just a rubber cap, basically. Keeps that XLR cable or USB-C cable if you guys are doing USB-C or USB-A, whatever you guys need. We're going to keep that tucked in. Here's the other piece. That's just going to clamp in there. All right. So there's that one. Let's go ahead and get the other one spun around on the mount here so we can get two going. Of course, for the audio test, we're just going to use the one on this side. But we'll get both of them going just for the appearance of it. All right, so that's the second one. And so that one would go somewhere in that vicinity. And we'll go ahead and put the cable in on that guy. So that's the cable for the first one. Let's get the cable for the second one. Plug him in. Nope, that's the wrong side. Plug him in. There you go. So that one goes there. We'll do the cable management on this one. I won't make you sit through the cable management on this one. We'll get past that and we'll come right back here in a second. Actually, we won't. We'll just go ahead and do it. We'll do it anyway. All right. And in case you guys are wondering, yes, this is my shed where I keep all of my pool floaties and pool stuff. We call it the pool house, but this is our studio. It's our pool house shed studio, and it's where we make the dreams happen. It's where we rock and roll out here, man. It doesn't take much to find yourself a good little space. I've heard people that literally will film YouTube videos in a closet. So if you're creative and you know what you're doing, you can make a YouTube studio pretty much out of anywhere. In this case, it's our pool house. It's our garage it's not a garage, it's basically a shed, basically, where we keep all of our pool supplies and whatnot. We live in Florida, in Hurricane Alley, right in Pensacola. So we do have issues with hurricanes. So this is the place where we pack everything in for hurricane season, and we just got past hurricane season, so there's stuff in here. You'll be all right. All right, so we got both the cables plugged in, and funny thing about it is, doesn't matter how many microphones that you mount to microphone stands, unless you have something to plug those microphones into, then nothing happens. So for that reason, we do have the PodTrack P4. Let's see if we can get a good camera angle on this guy. All right, PodTrack P4, Zoom P4. It's got 4 XLR inputs with the audio dials for the XLR and mute buttons. It's got 4 A, B, C, and D sound effects buttons with its own audio knob. And then it's got 4 quarter-inch audio out, which you can see there at the bottom. Fast forward, play, rewind, all that kind of stuff. On the side here, you do have the DC voltage in, which is USB-C, and then also the connection to your Mac or laptop or PC with the USB-C there. And then on this side, you do have an audio jack for cell phone in case you need to do a podcast with someone over the cell phone, and of course power button. All right, let's get this thing plugged in and see how it does. All right. Did I mention I live in Florida? Because it's freaking sweating over here, man. I kind of like this second angle, so I'm gonna do 2 angles. Now that's what we got these Meet 2 cameras for. But I like this second angle, so we're gonna roll with that for a second. All right, so we got the Zoom PodTrack Zoom P4 here, and then let's go ahead and connect in I'm gonna call it the guest input. So actually, we'll just go ahead and just to keep it left to right, lefty righties. Let's put that one in the left side, even though that's technically the in this case the guest, and then we'll go ahead and use the right side. We'll use the right side for the main microphone, which is going to be this guy right here. All right. So we got the Zoom plugged in. Let's go ahead and cable management that right behind the Mac. Let's get some electricity to this guy, and let's see if we can get some audio to run through this mic right here. All right, here we go. In this case, USB-C. Now, the only bricks I have out here are the USB-A bricks. So I do have a USB-A to USB-C cord back here that came with the lights. So we're going to plug that fella in. I got one of them here. He's going to power. I took him off the light bar, and then we're going to plug him right into the DC spot there. All right, and we're going to turn, before we turn it on, let's go ahead and get the line from the Zoom connected over to the Mac. Now I know that I'm going to run quite a few USB-C inputs, and this Mac has 3 inputs, but currently we're using one for the camera, and I do have one right now for the lav, which will be deleted here in just a second, and that leaves me one that I can go ahead and get this podcast mics connected in for. All right, so we got the hub plugged in. Let's go ahead and connect the Zoom over to the hub. And there are no shortage of long cords because, longer's better, am I right? So these are actually 10-foot cords, which means I actually have a little bit of excess cordage. Let's go ahead and kind of roll it up a little bit here. All right, so we got ourselves a cord that we're going to take basically from the side of the PodTrack. We'll take the cord from the side of the PodTrack and a little bit of slack on it. We will take it over to the hub. Now, to get the best performance out of this hub, you want to use the power inserter, which goes there. Fortunately, I do have a second cord here from the other light. So we'll go ahead and pull that across and plug that in as a power inserter. All right. And now on the Mac screen here, we do have a notification that says we now have a new input. And so next, now that we've got all the cords plugged in, the PodTrack is going to the hub is going to the Mac, we can now press the power button. And it comes on with a little fancy welcome message that says Zoom PodTrack P4 loading. And it's telling us that there's no card, but we don't care about that because we're streaming straight into the Mac. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and move over so you can see the dials moving here. So as you can see, the audio is picking up on channels 1 and 2. So it's live and it is picking up that audio. We are closer to channel 1. That's why you see that one going a lot higher than channel 2. But that means we're ready to go ahead and switch over to the podcast mics. All right, let's do it. All right, for just a second, we're going to actually run both streams of audio, and it's going to sound really weird, maybe even echoey. So forgive me ahead of time. But we're going to go ahead and click the pod track 4 on. You'll probably hear both sets of audio again, maybe out of sync. It may sound like an echo, but just let them roll for just a second. We now currently have audio going through the lavs and the pod track P4. I'm going to go ahead and mute this mic here. So that mic is now muted. We do have this mic over here that's still turned on, and we have the lav turned on. So let's go ahead and disable the lav now. We're going to go to OBS and mute the lav. Now we are 100% off of the podcast mic. I'm going to try not to get it too far in the way. I know there's probably some microphone adjustment sounds going on, but we are on the podcast mic. 100% podcast mic. I'm going to go ahead and disable completely the lav microphone. Funny way to say that, microphone. Lav mic's gone, and we are all podcast mic at this point. All right, so let's go ahead and upgrade the camera system. So right now we do have the camera over here with the camera on the phone, and let's go ahead and change that over to the OBSBot Meet 2. OBSBot Meet 2. Let's go ahead and change that over, and we'll get those set up. All right, and because we're going to be moving around a little bit, the sound and audio might get a little bit softer as I move around the room, but I do got to get these things plugged in. So, and I can't use the lav system because that uses one of my USB-C ports. So let's get these meets connected. They are 4K, pretty good high quality picture. Let's get them connected and see what they look like. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open up. We're going to start off by open up the good old tripod. This guy cost me about 20 bucks on Amazon. Get the base tightened up here, and then the pole extends out about, what is 62 inches? That's, what is that, 5 feet? A little over 5 feet. All right, so give me a second to go ahead and get the tripod set up and the meets connected in, and we'll see you back here in just a second. All right, so we got the first one in, and you can see where the other one's sitting right over there. It's not plugged in, but we'll go ahead and do that now. But before I do that real quick, I just want to go ahead and point out one or two little features about the OBSBot cam, is that it does allow you to, and I'm going to try to do this right here on the fly with you guys. It does allow you to zoom in and zoom out, and it's got a pretty strong zoom. I mean, it can go way back there. You can see the Everlast bag hanging out in the back there. I'm going to show you all the way in, see how far it'll go. That's maxed out. All right, and so it does zoom in pretty good, and we're going to go ahead and you can actually, it's got the PTZ function, pan, tilt, zoom, so you can move it around. So that's kind of nifty. All right, now I'm doing all this through the Mac right now. So, but we're going to keep it pointed in that direction, maybe a little bit more towards me, and then let's see if we can tilt it slightly more towards the other camera. There we go. And then let's go ahead and try to get that other cam turned on, and we'll see how that turns out. All right. Yep. All of this so far, because we haven't gotten to like the camera switching part yet. So I guess we're just going to run this whole thing right here off of the Meet 2. Well, basically, you got the other one here. Let's see if we can get real up, nice and close and personal. We got the other cam here, and we're going to take a USB-A that comes with the Meet 2 in the box. And by the way, these Meet 2s, they do have laptop mounts in the box, but I have no use for the laptop mounts because this is the setup that we're doing here in the podcast. So I did stash those away somewhere else. But we're going to take the USB-A, plug straight to the back. See if I can, oh, there it is, right there. straight to the back there, and angle it whichever way you want it to go. How you like my my camo pants situation? Nice, right? In this case, we're actually going to go to but we're going to go to the hub on this one. Make sure both sides are connected in. Make sure both sides are connected in extremely well because they do like to kind of resist getting plugged in. All right, let's find our position back here in the happy spot. All right, so we got both cams plugged in, and let's see if it pops up. I do see it pop up over here as an option for my input, so let's go ahead and click over that one real quick. All right, and now we have the other Meet 2 connected up. All right, so we can't really do any switching right now because we haven't connected the Stream Deck. I mean, we can just click the buttons in OBS, but we're gonna plug in the Stream Deck before we do the switching because, you know, fancy, whatnot. So now we have the Stream Deck, and we literally just got this thing for the switching function and maybe some sound effects and, you know, video pop-ups in the OBS system management, but it does like an infinity number of functions. So if you guys haven't looked into the Stream Deck, this is a pretty awesome piece of equipment. All right, so what we need to do is we need to plug a USB-C into our hub over here, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll on our Stream Deck. I've already had the Stream Deck set up. I've already gotten it I've already gotten it, you know, connected up. But we'll see what we got in there. All right. So let's get ourselves another USB cable. Here we go. Bam. USB-A. Did I say USB-A? USB-C. My bad. USB-C cable. And we will take one to the back of the Stream Deck and one over to our hub. How's the audio, by the way? Is it coming in pretty decent? Hopefully, since I'm right next to the old microphone, podcast mic. All right, so we have the Elgato logo pop up there and some other fanciness. All right, a little bit of banging. All right, so let's move over to, let's see if it's already connected into the OBS. Let's try that one. Hey, what's happening? And then, of course, main cam. All right, cool. Let's stay on the main cam for just a second. But listen, man, I think we made a pretty good improvement here. You know what? We actually still have the monitor to do. So let's go ahead and do the monitor next, and then we can switch screens here. I'm going to go ahead and move this out the way a little bit. And we're going to take this podcast mic and just go ahead and swing him out the way. Let's just play around with the cameras for a second. So this cam, we're going to move over to the other one. What's happening? What's going on? Let me put that one a little bit more into a happy place. Oh, too much zoom. Too much zoom. Well, in fact, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna manually move it a little bit. All right, cool. So there's that one, and back to the main cam. What's happening? All right, we're back to the main cam. All right, so let's go ahead and get the monitor hooked up, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we have KYY monitor. Guess it's cool. It cost me $70, 1080, high res, quote unquote. So let's see what this thing can handle. I literally have not opened the box yet. This is you're opening the box with me. You're opening the box with me. Let's do this. Still in the fancy packaging. Angels. Yeah, it looks like a cord. Let's open that fella up. we have C to HDMI. Excuse me, micro HDMI to regular HDMI. How about what's in this one? You know, the good thing is they let's camera switch because why not? The good thing is that they came with multiple different types of cords, so that's good. But I think this is the one we're going to use today. The C. Sorry about that. We're going to use the C to USB-C setup. And let's see if this hub can handle this kind of pressure, man. Right now we've got the podcast mics and the, what else is in there? Podcast mics and the Meet 2. So we have the podcast mics, the Meet 2, and also the Stream Deck all running through that hub. I am curious to see if this thing can handle a monitor too. That would be insane. I may have to get another hub. If this thing shuts down randomly, let's go to main cam. If this thing shuts down randomly, that's my bad, y'all. Okay, let's see what we got. So just a thin monitor, nothing crazy. In fact, I'm sure if I spun it around like that too many times, it would just probably break. Some instructions, like as if we need instructions on how to plug in a monitor. I think this is supposed to fold somehow. Guess that's why they need the instructions, I guess, huh? So not that way, and not that way, and maybe this way. Hey, I think we might have got it. Hold on, apparently I'm stupid. Apparently the trick to it is that you have to read the instructions on figuring it out. It's not the cords that you need instructions for. It's this little floppy stand that you need instructions for. But we are going to slide that out the way. Don't need that guy, and why not? Let's go to the B cam or the C cam. Bam. Problem with the C cam is that you can't see anything. So how about B cam? There you go. I can see some stuff. And not that much stuff, so main cam. There we go. Okay. Voila, I think. Or not. Junk just literally fell down. All right, here goes nothing. Let's see what happens. There we go. USB-C. And we're going to plug this guy over here. Into one of these guys. All right, well, it took a little bit of time to figure out exactly what was going on here. I got the laptop, or excuse me, I got the monitor to stand up so it wasn't falling down because, you know, that's what you get paid. That's what you get for $60, $70. But I got that to stay up, and I was having some issues because the monitor wouldn't come on, and apparently you have to plug it directly into your MacBook, which I didn't know that. I'm sure a lot of you guys are saying, yeah, duh, man, you got to plug it straight to the MacBook. I didn't know that. I'm not a Mac person, or I'm not even a major PC person. But I got that connected, so now the Mac has got a second screen, which is nifty. Also found out that my 4-port hub does not support 4 high-end devices simultaneously, even though they're all 10 gig ports. Right now we have the podcast mic plugged into the hub through the Zoom PodTrack P4. We have the Stream Deck. I'll just switch it over to the other cam there. We got the Stream Deck plugged in right there. And then we also have the Meet 2 that we're actually looking at right now is plugged into this 4-port hub. If I could lift it up. You know what? Hold on. Here's some vertigo for you. Yeah, there it is right there. So apparently if you do too many high data devices in it, it crashes out on you. So this Meet 2, I'll hop over up to the main cam. This guy here is it's not having it as far as going through the same hub. So and that's all right. Let's slide him out of the way. There he is. All right, cool. But I did get the second screen going, so we'll take a quick look at that. You probably recognize that. That's my studio, and there's the main channel page. So, all right, that's it. I guess this time, I appreciate you guys coming by. Now, I think I kind of like this setup here with the podcast mics. We got the other podcast mic over here too for whoever else. Maybe one of you guys can hang out with me. But we got that going, and we got the lights in the back going. I like the way the lights look, and we may use the other cam every once in a while just for funsies. And of course, now we have the ability to do some screen shares if we want to do that. So it's growing all the time, and we're gonna have fun messing around with this stuff. And I guess that's it for now. I guess I got to go edit this thing, and it's probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. So we'll see you guys next time. All right, thanks, bye.